The August 20th episode of Monday Night Raw can best be described as a mixed bag with more good than bad. On this week's Bryan Breakdown, we'll be discussing Randy Orton besting Imperium, the New Day on Odyssey Jones in in-ring action, as well as the stipulation for CM Punk and Drew McIntyre's second encounter being set. If it weren't already clear enough, Gunther is walking out of Bash in Berlin with his World Heavyweight Championship. He started the show this week in a promo exchange opposite of Orton, again, that did him no justice. In particular, his successful underachiever line, in which he also called Randy a one-trick pony. There had to have been a better angle he could have chosen for this feud. Anything better than just fabricating, even if it was just something as simple as "I'm better than you" would have sufficed. Ludwig Kaiser then attempted to ambush him before being thwarted temporarily. Later in the night, Orton overpowered Ludwig in a pretty good, actually very refreshing matchup in the main event. This was the second week in a row that Orton bested Gunther, despite this week Gunther having outside assistance. This also marks the questionable trend of a departure from his previous character, in which his insults actually stung and he didn't have to rely on outside assistance. On the bright side, like I said, Ludwig Kaiser had an excellent showing in his first foray into the main event. Tensions continue to rise between Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston over the inclusion of Odyssey Jones in their latest crusade against the Final Testament. One moment that is sure to resurface is Woods' visible frustration with Kofi over the fact that he tagged Odyssey Jones instead of him, despite the fact that Jones is much closer than he was. The match itself over-delivered, with everyone clicking on all cylinders. The finishing sequence was especially exciting, with everyone hitting their finishers on each other like it was the Attitude Era again. The Final Testament is also getting a lukewarm reaction now, which is a vast improvement over Silence. This is exactly what I hoped Jones' debut would have been. He was the difference maker. It could also be argued that Xavier Woods should be a little bit more grateful, being the fact that just a few weeks ago they were consistently getting beaten up by the Final Testament. Side note, Paul Ellering looks like Gargamel. And lastly, CM Punk made his way out to the ring bearing a gift for Drew McIntyre. And what I mean by gift, I mean the personalized bracelet that he had. And by personalized bracelet, I mean the leather strap for their strap match in Berlin. Both wrestlers played their respective roles to a T. Drew McIntyre being the witty antagonist, and CM Punk being the cunning recipient of said antagonism. The match stipulation ties perfectly into their feud and is a logical and appropriate way to escalate, especially after last week's assault by CM Punk with the belt. While the segment wasn't physical, it continued the momentum this week in a more cerebral fashion in which both parties played mind games. With less than 2 weeks from Battle in Berlin, my prediction is that CM Punk will get the win over Drew, as he's the one who needs it more in order to not lose any more momentum. Be sure to stay tuned and check us out next week on Saturday for another episode of Two Smart Marks, as well as like and subscribe for more great content.